So thanks guys for joining us. This is the first episode of Welcome Home's Stay Well podcast. And we thought that it would be a really good introduction to invite my friend Charlie on to interview me about the project that is Welcome Home, so that we can really set the scene for the upcoming podcast series, and just so that we can provide people in the community with a little bit more information about what's really been happening for us over the last kind of 2 months. So hi, Char.
Yo, nice to be on here. Nice to finally get some action on this Welcome Home. So I've heard a lot about this. What actually is Welcome Home? What is the whole project about?
Yeah, so that's a really good question, actually. Welcome Home was really developed as a response to what we saw as a collective group of kind of creative individuals, and what we saw happening in the community of Guernsey around the beginning of lockdown. As you know, we know that the COVID-19 kind of crisis has kind of
that small pandemic going around.
Yeah, just that little pandemic. And what we really realized was that actually, our community had so many gifts and so many talents that were already being openly shared by everybody. So, whether it was a yoga teacher, whether it was somebody who was able to hold an online arts class or meditation, or, provide arts activities for children, we saw all of these different types of kind of online activities and events, if you like, popping up on social media in particular. And what we really felt was that we needed to be able to centralize a lot of that people's energy, basically, all these amazing things, these, for want of a better word, gifts that people in our community have that they're sharing with people. So we felt like we wanted to bring it together, and that's why we built the Welcome Home kind of online wellbeing hub.
Now, I've been chatting to you about it a bit, and you said it's quite a community driven, and that's really, I think, sometimes at the heart of Guernsey culture. Is that something that you guys were keen to keep in part of it?
Yeah, so it's actually completely central to the whole thing. Is that we've come together as a group of creatives, if you like, from different industries, health and well-being, maybe more arts, and the IT industry as well. And we saw this opportunity to really unite everybody's gifts and talents. So really, it's not about us, and it's not about our contribution, but the whole platform is built based on what our community is willing to share. So like I said, coming back to these gifts and these talents that everybody has. So really, Welcome Home is a contribution of all of these, or collection, I should say, of all of these things. And what it is really through the website at the moment is, all these activities, all of these events, all of these resources and initiatives that really are just supporting people's well-being online. Because obviously we know how important that is, given the fact that we've had to do most of life online, I suppose, for the last 2 months, right?
Yeah, it's a strange thing, doing everything online, even communicating. I've seen some things on Facebook, FaceTiming your grandparents. It's a strange and uncertain time we live in. So how have you managed to collate all this, all of these different kind of, all these creative people? You've got a website, you say, but is there any other avenues that you've used to put it all together?
Yeah, so that's a really good question, actually, and maybe it kind of lends to me talking a little bit of the story of how it came together. So I came together with one of my colleagues, and we initially saw everything that was going on, and we said, we would like to build something that can support the community to share these gifts. But we recognised that we certainly, couldn't do that alone, and we only had very small pieces to that puzzle. So what we did was we were actually, we've been supported by the Guernsey Community Foundation. So a really, really big thank you has to go out to those guys who have financially supported us to build the platform online. And also we've had two IT companies. One of them is Donkey Logic, and in particular a lovely guy called Justin Gilbert, and another company, Client Informatics, a guy called Harry Prabhu. And those guys have really been central to allowing us to actually build the online platform. So again, it's without these people and without these organizations and everybody really pulling together to help us create this, then it wouldn't be where it is.
It's just so amazing to hear. I think it's, as I said before, it's this classic Guernsey spirit. You know, we've all got to get through this pandemic. We might as well get it together, do it together. Um, how can help Welcome Home? It's great you telling me all this stuff, but how can Welcome Home help someone like me who, you know, stuck at home, not allowed to go to university? You know, what can it do for someone like me?
Yeah, so maybe this would be a good opportunity for actually me to have a little kind of exploration of the platform with you. And maybe if I share my screen, because we're using Zoom here, right, let me just do this, then I can take you on a bit of a tour and maybe we can talk a little bit more about, you know, how that will work. So can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. So this is the Welcome Home website. Like I said, it's been created largely by the team over at Donkey Logic. And the purpose of the website is kind of trifold. The most important feature of it is that we have this online weekly calendar. And the calendar is where we have collated all of the activities and the events and the resources that have been submitted by everybody in the community. So it's where we've brought together everybody's gifts in one place that everybody can basically connect with them. So that's probably the most prominent feature of Welcome Home at the moment, is our online calendar. So if I click on here, welcomehome.org.gg, and we go through to view our online calendar to see what's on. Anybody kind of checking into this, let me just zoom out a little bit, would be able to see the calendar. So what we have on the calendar is a collection of events that fall under different categories. So we've got, you know, health and well-being, stuff relating to virtual socializing, stuff that's more arts and creativity, or perhaps, you know, diet and nutrition, all of these different categories. And then we have the events themselves. So the calendar shows 1 week in advance kind of all the events that are going on. And again, a lot of these events, the majority of them have been submitted by local individuals or groups or organizations. But what we also have is international events. So people who have submitted things that they found to be really helpful in supporting their well-being. So just to give you an idea, today's Thursday, 21st of May, and we've got today's calendar. So on here we have yoga for kids. We've got, you know, PE at home, which was put together by the Guernsey Sports Commission. We've got a local group, The Art of Living, doing an online meditation. We've actually got entertainment from a local gentleman called Andre Rees-Sharon, who's been doing children's storytelling and kind of evening entertainment. So as you can see, there's a huge range of events that are essentially on. I think today alone, I think it's about 15 or something events on that calendar. Some of them are kind of more staple events that happen regularly throughout the week, but we also have many kind of one-off events and kind of resources that get added. So I think, you know, the way in which, to answer your question, people can really benefit from Welcome Home the most is to come and engage with, you know, the calendar and maybe select one of their favorite categories. So for example, you know, if you want to do something related to kind of physical activity and exercise, you could click on there. And what it would do is it would load the page with all of those related activities. So in which case you might find that, you know, some kids at home could do with, you know, a little bit of activity and movement. And so what they'd simply do is, you know, maybe read the description, see if they feel like the event's appropriate for them. And then they can click on the link on the right-hand side and it takes them straight to that activity.
That is really, really impressive. I like the idea of it is for everyone as well. I think we saw there was one for kids, and then there was one kind of light, gentle movement in chairs, which might, you know, be aimed at those people a little bit older. It's just a fantastic initiative, I think. And where have you, so it's come from this community spirit, where could you see this project going? Where would you like to do it? Like, where would you like to take it?
Yeah, so that's really interesting that you should say it like that, because the way that we've kind of born this project or brought it into being is really less dictated by us as such, and the aim is more for us to connect with the needs of our community. So, like I said, you know, we explored one of the features of the website, which is the calendar, and maybe it would be helpful if I kind of explore the next one or two, because I think it might help to kind of answer that question a little bit. So if I go, sorry, this is new to me, the old Zoom, open the thing again. So if we see the website here, people can read a little bit about, you know, the aims of the website, which is, you know, as we've said, is to not only support kind of people's well-being, but also allow them to kind of stay connected online and to also have fun as we move into this kind of far more digital age with everything that's going on. So the three kind of key features are search. So you can search through the calendar to basically find the events that kind of support you. And what's quite interesting is at the bottom of the page, we've got kind of the most upcoming or up-to-date events that we're kind of adding to the calendar quite frequently. But we also are aiming for kind of two other angles. And one of them is to obviously allow people to get in contact with us and to share their events. So what happens is if people were to click on the search, it would take them to the calendar. If they go to the share, then they would get an opportunity to send us details of perhaps an event or a resource or any information that they would like to offer to their community. So I suppose when you said about, where does it go in the future, that really is dictated a lot by, what people are willing to share with us initially, because it is only the content, all those gifts from the community that have actually built the platform itself. And without those, all this would be is a website. So the real meat and the bones of it are, absolutely led by the community. And then as well as them being able to share, we also have a suggest function. So one thing that we are increasingly aware of is that for this platform to, perhaps grow in the future, for it to really support people's well-being online, and to really be this centralized hub to bring together all of these resources, what we need to know a lot about is, what do our community need? So when people click onto the kind of suggestion area on the website, what it comes up with is a couple of questions, and it asks, is there a particular online resource or a group or an activity or something that somebody's looking for? Because a really beautiful thing about Welcome Home is that we've developed this presence through our social media and through the website. And it means that we're becoming more intimately connected with our community, particularly in Guernsey, but generally online. So what it really means is that people can get in touch with us and they dictate, the direction of which the platform heads. Because when, say, the lovely Doris from down the road gets in touch and says to me, she really needs to understand how to use Zoom better. So obviously the video conferencing that we're using for this interview, then we can put Doris in touch, or we can share or find appropriate resources or ask the community to kind of share those with us. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. So it's essentially for the community, run by the community. So anyone can kind of, if I wish I had something to share, but I really don't. Technically I could, share a routine that I do, like maybe a fitness routine or a yoga kind of session.
Yeah, so I mean, it's quite interesting you say that, because I think it's a very traditional thing for us to view is that, we must have some sort of qualification to share a gift or, some tangible thing. But what we're really, really learning is that within our community, particularly in Guernsey, that we have everything that we need. And it is really about us being able to connect the community to those powerful resources, and also to really help provide people with a sense of belonging that comes with sharing your gifts and talents. So, you said you don't have anything necessarily to share. Well, being on this podcast and us chatting today and this interview is exactly the kind of contribution, that you might make to the platform. So, just to give you some other ideas, we've had a lot of people sending in like learning resources for children. We've had people sending in comedy clips. We've had people sending in poetry and all sorts of stuff. And, ultimately, as a platform, what we want to be able to do is give a kind of voice to your talents, and to make it available for people to kind of check in with. We know that not everybody is going to resonate or connect to every resource that we have on the website, but that's not the point. The idea is that we are an online hub where we can collect everything, and then people can come and they can really enjoy and benefit from the people's gifts that they connect with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. It's just a fantastic thing. So you're planning to do a podcast, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So the kind of next steps for us at the moment, as I've said, we are completely receptive to suggestions from our community, and we want to partner with the community really to help us grow the platform in the direction that it's going to take. whatever direction that might be. But one thing that's come up for us a lot recently is that we know a lot of people who really have a strong voice and who are doing great things in the community to support people, and that we wanted to be able to basically interview them, or basically, yeah, I suppose, conduct even short interviews or podcasts with those people or groups or organizations really, who are doing good things, so that we can basically share that out.
So it'd be like getting top tips and tricks from people who have got know something about creativity and kind of mindfulness and well-being. Is that kind of the idea?
Yeah, I mean, we've got some really exciting guests lined up. I won't give anything away in this podcast because we figure out exactly who will be coming and joining us when. But we're going to be looking, there'll be more creative-based stuff. There'll be more, child kind of based activities. Then we might talk more about, for example, lifestyle medicine and how we can keep ourselves well and healthy to maybe, protect ourselves moving forward out of this whole lockdown situation. So yeah, it's really interesting, and that's why we're going to call it the Stay Well. We are calling it the Stay Well podcast series, because it's all about Welcome Home really supporting people to stay well.
Wow, I'm excited to see this grow and just gain more and more kind of attention from Guernsey people. I think I feel like we're quite early on. We've done a lot, but then I just can't wait to just see this just get better and bigger. Is there anything else you'd like to kind of say to people that maybe are a bit umming and ahhing or a bit unsure about this whole Guernsey, what's it called? Guernsey Welcome Home. What is there anything you'd like to say to people who are maybe a bit unsure?
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting time, very challenging time in which we live, and there is a lot of uncertainty about the future, I think. And I think one of the things that we can be sure of more now than ever is that as a community, we can really support each other to be personally responsible for our own health. And when we come together and collectively support each other to do that, it's almost more powerful than any other kind of intervention, because what we are really doing, is empowering people to come and learn information that's relevant for them, and to connect with resources that can support their well-being. And really, all that Welcome Home is a platform for that to take place, to invite people from the community to come and contribute their amazing gifts and talents. And we know that, quite hopefully we're going to, continue to come out of lockdown, and this is going to become a much more positive experience for us over the summer. But we know now that, particularly online activities and resources, they've kind of got this centralized role in our life. And whilst, it's so important for people to communicate offline, that's human nature, what we've really unlocked is this opportunity to access people in the community, and to provide them with support that might not have previously had it. So, for people who are maybe looking at this and thinking, I don't know if it's for me, I don't know if it's got much that could support me, what I would kind of say to those people is, just stay up to date with what's happening. We're going to be interviewing loads of people, and I know that pretty soon a lot of people are going to be contributing a lot of different resources to the project. So there really is something for everybody, and maybe if it isn't you yourself that would benefit or would like to check it out, then I'm sure you have a family member or a relative or somebody who can support. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's been so nice to chat to you. I feel like I've actually learned so much about this whole project, and good luck to you guys, to be honest.
Yeah, thanks, Charles. Well, like I said, the main thing for us to really put across is that whilst we have come together collectively as a group to build this platform, we're not the face of the platform, and it's such a beautiful thing to be able to see so many people in our community come together under the Guernsey Together hashtag and the solidarity that we've seen across our islands. And this platform is just one very small part of a collective web of our community that are doing incredible things. I mean, we know there's tons and tons of other organizations out there, but we hope that as we move forward, people will continue to engage with it, and we look forward to yeah, moving in the direction that our community really requires, as we kind of engage with them and find out more.
Sweet.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Char.
No worries.
All right, guys. Hopefully we'll see you on the next episode of the podcast. We're going to be organising kind of who's coming on and sharing some more information about that soon. But hopefully this little chat between me and Charlie gave you a bit of an insight into what the Welcome Home Project is about. So we'd encourage you to come in and check us out. We're on social media. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on LinkedIn. And obviously the website is welcomehome.org.gg. So come and check it out, guys, and interact with us, because this platform would be nothing without you guys, and we would love to hear from you. If you have ideas for us, if you do have resources, gifts, anything, come and get in touch. All right. Cheery.